The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate podcast. I am Luis again, your host, and today we have a very special guest. We have Norris from Georgia, who has done an impressive number of transactions of 4,000. Can you imagine somebody doing 4,000 transactions? So he's going to let us know his story and how he has achieved these numbers. How are you today, Norris?
Doing great. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you, Norris. Can you start telling us a little bit about your story? How did you get into this business in 2003?
Okay, yeah, I can tell you about it. I started in 2003. I was 19 when I started, so basically right out of high school. And I started mainly in residential resales and things of that sort. And then I sort of continued regular retail and then started moving into REO, which was bank foreclosures. And I did a ton of bank foreclosure work from like 2006 through like 2015. It was a lot of volume because, 2008 happened and
Yeah.
there was a lot of distressed properties and we were moving a lot of volume there. And then that sort of uh, allowed me to develop relationships with a lot of investors that bought a lot of properties. And then post 2018, REO sort of slowed down. And then, of course, by the time COVID hit, there was no REOs really to speak of. And so I've been in regular retail the whole time. I've had two lines of business, the REO side and then the regular real estate side. And that, has been predominantly the focus for the last 4 years, a little over 4 years, just regular retail and work with a lot of investors and a lot of homeowners, a lot of just regular homeowners. Work with a builder. So have a pretty diversified uh, list of different clients. It's not all in one field. It's all in residential mainly, but it's diversified in several different segments.
Awesome. Awesome. And what keeps you motivated after 18 years in this industry?
Well, about 21 actually is about how long it is. So
Oh,
it it's every day is a new challenge. There's new some sort of new problems to solve with deals. There's always something going on. You're always getting to meet new people. I like the challenge of it and the as the market changes, which the market, as we know, is sort of shifting somewhat. The market is still strong, but we're not in the same market we were in 2022. So, as the market changes, I enjoy the challenges of the market, and you have to adapt. There's always something to have to adapt to. The market's always changing. And of course, as an agent, if you can't adapt to the market, you can't really excel. The market's not going to be the same all the time. So
Yeah.
you have to be able to adapt to different shifts in the market, and that's challenging. And I enjoy that, and I enjoy meeting people and working out problems. I probably there's not a whole lot of other fields that I think I could enjoy as much as real estate. Real estate is just it's a good field. There's a lot of different segments you can work in, but it's just it's interesting. It's always something new every day.
All right. And how has the real estate market in Georgia evolved over the past few years? And what trends are you seeing now?
Well, things were really starting, things were busy before COVID. The market, even 2018, 2019 was good. We were starting in 2019 to see a little pullback in the market, and we were starting to see some foreclosure properties come back into the market. And then when 2020 hit, of course, we all know what happened. Things just really went crazy, and inventory. Um, well, initially in 2020, when COVID first hit, everything died. Everything was so slow for probably 3 or 4 months. There just not a lot going on. And then after, when around June, July got here, things were going crazy. Rates were low. There was no inventory. Everybody was buying houses. It was just a really exciting time in the market, even with all the bad stuff that was going on. Otherwise, it was an exciting time in the market. And then I feel like we pretty much hit a peak in around 22, and then 23 was a good year, and then 24 has been good. But in 24, what we are seeing is, if you compare the market now to 2019, I would say the market is still pretty healthy. The market, you
Yeah.
compare it to 2018, 2019, market's still good. You compare us to 2021, 2022, the market's terrible. So it's just sort of relative to what you measure it against. But compared to pre-COVID, market's good. Compared to 2022, it's slow. So we're starting to see houses are not selling in a week. Houses are staying on the market 60 days now. So it's not just an immediate thing. And I think there's a lot of, oh, some people have a lot of panic. Oh my gosh, this house has been on the market 60 days and hasn't sold. But, you know,
It's normal.
in our normal market before COVID, certain houses took 3 months, 4 months to sell. Some of them sold in 30 days, but every single house didn't sell inside of 30 days. So I think people's expectations have just got to come back a little more to normal.
I can see you're a very calm person and you understand how the market works and you simply don't get in panic easily because you know how it works, right?
Yeah, you can't panic. You can't, as much as people become very emotional when it comes to real estate transactions, and you really, when you become emotional in a real estate transaction, you usually lose. You usually make the wrong decision, make the wrong move. When it comes to buying, you get emotional and you want to overpay for the house to get it. Or either, if you're selling, you get emotional and the house hasn't sold. Oh my gosh, I'm going to reduce the price down really fast. Or then there's the other seller that's emotional to the point that they have a certain figure etched in their mind that's not based on reality, that they just have to get. And that can be a negative too. You have a lot of those kind of people that are like, oh, I've got to have this number. Well, what you have to have and what the market will let you have could be two different things. So I think you just have to stay realistic in your expectations and base your expectations on the facts of the market rather than just some emotional want or emotional need.
Exactly.
That's what I would say.
Perfect. And What are some of the biggest challenges you've been facing in the real estate market and how have you overcome them?
The biggest challenge over the past 4 years has been the lack of inventory and the lack of affordable inventory. That and we've done the best we can on that. We have really had to get out and prospect and find sellers and people that are wanting to sell. We've had to do a lot more aggressive campaigns to you know, sending out flyers, calling people, doing, a lot of various marketing tactics to try to get inventory because the days of even if you're an established agent, the days of just sitting here and waiting on the phone to ring, waiting on somebody to call and say, hey, they want to sell their house. That's not, it's not like that. So we've had to definitely be aggressive in getting out and getting properties to sell because I remember before COVID, before 20, well, back 2019, 2018, I would have probably three or four sellers at least a week calling saying, hey, I want to sell my house. I'm ready to sell. Just people that I didn't have to even solicit. I didn't have to do anything. I had a lot of those listings just falling in my lap. And whereas there's been some of that, but very little of that in the past 4 years. There's just not a lot of, if you're not out working and you're not prospecting to try to get sellers and get properties, then you're not going to have inventory. That's the thing.
Yeah,
And we've done that. We've also partnered up with we've got a builder that's building some new houses that we're helping him sell his new inventory. So that's been good. That's helped a lot, and he's been building a lot of affordable houses. So um, that's pretty much the most part of what we're doing.
awesome. Thank you for responding. And how do you differentiate Norris Bishop Realty from other real estate agencies in your area?
Well, I would say we try to be really hands-on in communication. We try to have a relationship with the customer. There's a lot of times when I could email something or send a text or whatever, but I try to get on the phone and call the people and talk to them about what's going on and where there's some kind of personal uh, touch to the transaction. I think the worst thing any agent can do, and and we're all guilty of it to some degree, but I try not to do this, is you don't want to have a transaction from start to finish where you almost have no contact with the buyer. You everything's via email or via text.
No, no.
You need to have that personal contact. They need to know you. You need to know them, and you can explain things and go over things. And I try to return every phone call. If somebody calls me and I'm in a meeting, I may say, "Hey, I'm in a meeting," and text them whatever they need to do to know. But when I get out of that meeting, even if I've texted them, I'm gonna call them back and say, "Hey, I'm calling you. I'm returning your call. I'm calling you back." I just it's offensive to me, even dealing with other agents nowadays. When so many other agents, they will not get on the phone and talk to you about anything. They're always in an endless meeting. They can't talk. They can't take a call. And like, we use technology and, sometimes there's certain things that are suitable for email or text that you don't need to have a long conversation about. But there's a lot of things when you need to be willing to get on the phone and talk to people and take some time with people and give them some time and make them feel like they matter. And to me, if I don't return a customer's call, if I just text them whatever they need to know and I don't call them back when they call me, then it's kind of like that person is may feel like they're not worth my time, that I'm too busy to talk to them, that I'm so busy that I've just got to send a text or whatever. But I think, we try to really have a relationship with our customers and answer their questions and make them know that they are worth our time.
Okay, awesome. You're really doing a special connection with all of your clients, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And what is the next step for you on your brokerage, Nerys? I mean, what are the plans for the rest of the year and next year?
The rest of this year, we of course want to keep, you know, pushing and doing more volume and doing more deals, but we want to continue to excel in the changing market and adapt to that and help the sellers um, through the process. Some of the sellers have listed their properties and they're been on the market 30 days. We want to help people work through that and continue to do a good amount of volume, but we want to, even though the market's changing, we want to adapt to it and help sellers get through it, help buyers get through it too. But mainly just kind of adapt to this changing market and keep everything moving.
Awesome, awesome. Just so you know, Nerys, some of our audience are also realtors who are trying to get into the real estate business, but they don't know how to do it. So, what advice would you give to these new people?
As far as realtors getting into the business, I would say um, you've got to get out and network, in your local community and, get involved in community events and a lot of civic organizations. And you've got to network with everyone that you can think of that wants to buy or sell real estate, and you've got to, you can't be afraid to get on the phone and call people and say, hey, I heard you were thinking about buying a house or selling a house. um contact various organizations like that have people transferring into town, different, in our town, for instance, we've got a medical school here, and there's a lot of people moving in at various times of the year for that. So you want to reach out to people like that and say, hey, if you have anyone moving into town, I would love to help. Get involved with the Chamber of Commerce, get involved in just various community events,
Yeah.
but mainly just network with everyone you can think of that would know somebody, different industries that would know people moving in and out of town. There's just a lot of things. The amount of things you can do if you're willing to put the work in is really endless. I mean, most people just don't. They're a little afraid. They don't want to take the step to get out there. But there's so many things you can do, and it really is such a sense of accomplishment once you know you make that sales call or you go to that meeting that you really kind of don't feel comfortable going to, and you step outside of your comfort zone. It is such a sense of accomplishment once you get that behind you. So yeah, the biggest advice I would say, if you want to be successful in real estate, I'll sum it up: you have got to get outside of your comfort zone. You cannot be afraid to get outside of your comfort zone and do things that you ordinarily might not be comfortable doing. You got to do it. You got to get out there. And that's, if you'll do that and you'll be consistent, is another thing. You be consistent with it, you'll be successful. You just got to put the work in.
Awesome, awesome. And what about the realtors who are stuck, Nerys? Because there are also some realtors that are doing, two, three, four transactions per year, and they don't know how to increase their number because From what I know, an average realtor is doing 12 transactions per year, but some of them are doing less than that. What advice would you give to them?
Well, I would say, go to some trainings, go to some, there's a lot of good sales trainings, motivational trainings, even outside of real estate. There's a lot of them inside of real estate, but there's a lot of things you can go to get yourself hyped up where you want to get out and prospect. And I think you've got to believe in yourself that you can do it, that you can that's the main thing. Set some goals and really believe in yourself that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish, because I think most agents that are not doing the volume, that are not doing a lot of, doing 3 or 4 transactions a year or whatever, it all really boils down to their attitude and their belief in themselves, and they may not have the confidence that they need to get out there. But there's so many good trainings. I've been reading a sales book. Brian Tracy, I think, is
Yeah,
the guy's name. I've been reading that. Very good. Things like that. Go to, read things like that. Go to these trainings. People like that do. And, you gotta believe you can do it. And, if you set some goals and you put a certain amount of work, I would say most people that are not doing a lot of transactions, they don't have a set thing that they're doing every day to reach that goal. What are you doing today to reach that goal? You've got to put in, say, 3-4 hours worth of prospecting time every day. If you set a goal, you build in prospecting time and you don't let anything interfere with that. I think anybody that does that can be successful. And maybe look at some other, if you're trying to work in a area that's really saturated with agents, maybe you go a little ways out into some more outlying area where you don't have as much competition, and you start, kind of working that market, and then you can work yourself back to the market you sort of want to work in. But there's a lot of things like that I think you can do.
yeah. Actually, I was reading yesterday a book from Brian Tracy. The name of the book is The Art of Closing a Sale.
Okay.
So I would recommend it to you. Maybe
That's
you already read it, but
I haven't read that one, but I would I'll have to check it out because that sounds good. The other one I've been reading by him has been really good. It's got a lot of really good information in it, and it's so many little small things you can do when you talk to somebody about doing business. So many little small things you can do that just make such a difference in the whatever presentation.
exactly, Norris. Well, it was such a pleasure to have you here at Icons of Real Estate. You really have a lot of experience. You're an icon of the real estate market, and we are blessed to have you here on our channel.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. It's been great.
Thank you very much, Norris, and see you another time.
Okay. All
Bye
righty.
bye.
Have a good one.